to rebuke them. So in him raising up his voice for Jesus, it's going to put him in an uncomfortable condition, but at the same time, it's going to expose Jesus' enemies. So nobody gets away. Nobody. If you preaching what's right, then the one that's preaching what's wrong, oh, they're going to be exposed. Yeah, they will definitely be exposed. So that's the beauty and the power of, is God wise or what? I mean, if you got everybody saying the same thing. What God telling you? What God telling you? What God saying the same thing God been saying. God ain't doing nothing different. God is doing the same thing that God has been doing. God is a God that changes not. You got all of the stuff, man, that comes through the pike and poses itself as being God. And then somebody stands up and say, that ain't God, man. That's the devil. What do you say? And the next thing you know, because of standing for that which is truth, the person is put in unpleasant conditions. Why? For Jesus. But at the same time, the immorality and the sinfulness of those so-called Jesus lovers, gospel preachers, are exposed because the only way they know to act is out of their flesh. They can't respond any other way other than out of vengeance, right? A lot of the things that you may deal with at times is because of your stand for Jesus. A lot of your separation from your family is because of Jesus Christ. A lot of the things at times that are said against you, it's because of your stand for Jesus. Somebody will always make you think you done did something wrong and you crazy. You the crazy one in the family. Technically, it's the other way around. You the one got sense in the family. And I'm not calling anybody family crazy. But on the other hand, I don't know how else to look at that. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, man, a lot of the things that you deal with as believers, man, if you're really following the Lord, I ain't talking about no wishy-washy. I ain't talking about no 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, I ain't talking about your family. You saved this week, your family don't know you saved the next week. I ain't talking about that, man. I mean, that's just a result of your way. I'm talking about if you are really under the influence of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the unpleasant conditions that you will be in at times will be many. It will not always be, sitting on top of the mountain. It will not always be you got a fat pocket. That's not really the true story. The true story, beloved, is sometime you're going to be under some serious, serious pressure because of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But the beauty of that is you are fulfilling the nature of what Jesus said. And Jesus told you, he told you, beloved, that you would be persecuted because of his name, that you would go through tough times in life because of his name's sake. But be of good cheer, is what he said, right? So we're not talking about the same two natures. Paul is going through what he's going through because he is preaching the gospel, because he is preaching the truth. Now, if he wasn't preaching the truth, then he would be befriended by his accusers. But because he stands against his accusers, that's why he's going through what he's going through. And he wants those Christians to understand that. I'm not of the same nature as your teachers. I'm not of the same nature as the people that you've chosen to follow, the people that you're under their influence. I'm not of the same nature. Uh, have you ever been to or sat under somebody who basically, if they got something against you, they'll turn the whole church against you? See, that's of another persuasion, right? That's of another persuasion. That's just another form of hostility. That's enmity. You ain't putting your hands up, but you definitely trying to murder them. And that's still not the spirit of Jesus Christ. That's deceitful. That's wrong for anybody to have, for me to have something against one person in the church is wrong, period. But for me to take that and turn you against them, that's evil. Whether people come, whether people go, whether people say stuff about me or whatever, I got no right to turn you against anybody in this church. I mean, that will be between me. I won't even tell my wife about that. But that will be against me. But I'm not going to take them and turn you against them. Why? Why? Because that's not God to do such a thing as that. Are y'all with me? Look at this. Did you got that? All right. So then is the offense of the cross cease. If he was preaching that gospel, he wouldn't go through what he was going through. But because he's not preaching it, that's why the offense just continues on. It's just one thing after another, one issue after another. But whatever issue you may go through, look around. I mean, look at the story for what it really is. Saints, you may go through what you go through at times, but you're going through it, and there's really great reward that's on the other side. Because you know the truth of the matter is, some cases you won't be delivered from. That's the gospel. Did you know the Bible doesn't teach revolution? Men teach that. Men teach to go in and revolutionize stuff. The Bible teaches submission, even unto death. Yeah. What did he say? What did he say? Yeah, what I said. Yeah. The Bible don't teach revolution. The Bible teaches submission. Yeah. We teach that. Corner churches teach that you go in everywhere and revolutionize stuff. That's what the disciples thought. When we going to take over? Submit. He says, I would that they were cut off, which trouble you. Paul is somewhat being sarcastic here, but he is being real as well. The word cut off means to amputate. It means to castrate, mutilate. Castration in the realm of religious activity was known to citizens of the ancient world. It was frequently practiced by pagan priests in the cult of Cybele, who were self-made eunuchs. In other words, Paul says,